Hey, welcome back to a City United podcast here for our sophomore year. Thankfully, having built up no expectation, this should be a breeze. So I'm James, and I'll be sitting in the blue corner, flying the flag for the reigning and defending Premier League champions Manchester City. And in the red corner is Sean, looking to battle back from a decade of self-destruction, hoping that Ten Hag is the answer to the Fergie problem. How are you doing, Paul?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. That season's well and truly forgotten in my
Has to
mind.
be. Moving on to bigger and better things. Ten
Mhm.
Hag, is he the solution?
I think he's definitely the man.
I think you might be right.
I think he's gonna not lead us back to greatness, but he's gonna do a damn good job. I think.
I think even if you can just get some fucking proper coaching in there, that's going to
Yeah,
be massive.
yeah. Having a defined play style that doesn't rely on us counter-attacking teams because we got sussed out very early. Once the teams realised all we can do is try and counter, we can't actually play our way through teams or keep possession of the ball. But I think that's Ten Hag's kind of forte. So
So you're optimistic enough that the coaching will be enough to kind of move you in the right direction, because you have made a couple of signings, but they're not, side transforming signings. They're
the,
add to the
mm,
pack, add to the quality, having with some people from your first team having left. I think they're both good signings. But
there's actually three.
who's the third?
Who are you thinking of?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that you've got Ericsson
Yeah,
and Christ. Oh my God, who is the other one you've signed?
Lissandro
Lissandro
Martinez.
Martinez, the butcher of Amsterdam. Yeah, those two.
Yeah,
Who's the third? Don't say that
Tyrell
fullback. Yeah, oh my
Tyrell
God,
Malacia. Yeah,
is that the fullback that you signed?
yeah, left back.
Yeah, get in the bin. So that's fine, but we're talking about your side transforming themselves from finishing sixth
Not quite. Um,
last season. What, you sixth by some margin?
oh, sorry, I thought you meant the season going. I thought you
We'll get to that.
jumping the
Don't you
gun.
worry. No, I'm definitely
Um,
not jumping the. You're not jumping the gunners.
so I think if you look at those three signings, I think if they had followed like a defensive midfielder and an attacker, I'd say it's a very good window. However, those those positions have yet to be filled. So I'm a bit worried going into season as it stands. We're on the eve of the Premier League, aren't we?
Absolutely, absolutely. The Premier
So I'm a
League
bit
properly
worried.
gets going on Saturday. Um, don't tell me that Arsenal Crystal Palace is the Premier League getting going. That's a taster.
Well,
Um,
that's tomorrow, which is Friday.
it sure is. But to just bring it back to United, so we can kind of box that off.
Mm.
The problem is, all those teams around you last season have strengthened, and you've still got the Ronaldo problem, which is something I really wanted to get your view on, because I genuinely believe you're a better team without Ronaldo, irrelevant of the fact that he'd get 20 goals.
I think if you asked any Man United fan what he honestly thought, I think they'd say get rid. Because what's transpired in the summer has just been because obviously when he signed it was a media circus,
Mm.
but a positive one at least. But this summer, since he's allegedly wanted out, it's been well, I don't know. It's going to be to the detriment of the manager, but I think Ten Hag's strong enough to make the hard call. But as of today, Martial has picked up a hamstring injury, so we have no other recognised forwards apart from Ronaldo.
Wow.
But so I don't know. We've again, this is United making their own problems. If he wanted to leave, obviously, he hasn't had his suitors, though, has he? He's been quite short in that department.
That is one of the problems, I think, that what are the realistic options for him? The
I,
PSG is, a FIFA wet dream, I guess, tricking Ronaldo in there amongst them, but surely Mbappe doesn't want them there.
no, President Mbappe will not want Ronaldo.
Exactly. Chelsea is an option. They're spending money wildly, but
Tuchel said well, Tuchel, sorry, said he wasn't interested, but I think their new president was Boy.
It's a marquee signing for a new chairman, isn't it?
Looking to impress, I guess, but I don't know. Would Chelsea fans really want him? I think maybe
I don't think
only
so.
because I'd say
Because of the banter,
maybe, but like
literally only that.
Lukaku leaving, and they've only got who they got up front. Kai, I think Kai Havertz up front. Is
Tammy
he
Abraham
gonna?
not coming back.
No, he loves Jose, doesn't he?
Did
Smashing
he
it in
move to
Rome.
Roma permanently? Was
I
that
believe
not
he
a
did, but
law?
I think he's got a buyback clause.
Okay, wise move.
Yeah, because he's looks to be coming good. But I think Chelsea could do with him, but I can't see him moving
Definitely.
there. I see him being stuck with us, to be honest, and we're stuck with him. It's one of those.
And I think it'll be to your detriment this season, unless he just
I
doesn't really
think,
play.
yeah, I think depending on what Ten Hag decides to do.
Because when you're the new manager in that dressing room, especially the issues you've had and the people you've got rid of, in the sense of Lingard's gone out, Pogba's gone out, you've got rid of the kind of people eating away at the morale in the dressing room, leaking things to the press, etc.
Yeah.
But Ronaldo is also that. When you've got, Maguire, the club captain, somehow, at odds with the best player at the club, when people aren't running, when people aren't doing the basics and they want to look at Ronaldo as an example, he's going to set the wrong example if he's not happy. It doesn't take a lot for him to get unhappy.
No, I think in a sense, he's a consummate professional, but only
Absolutely.
in his interests. Hence why he wants to leave. He doesn't want to play the Europa League. It's a joke to him. I did suggest someone telling him that Europa League goals count. but
You'll get
shitloads. If he wants to leave, if that's his decision. He should be allowed to leave the club. I don't know if Ten Hag was saving face earlier in preseason saying he wants to work with him and he's not going. But I think behind the scenes they're just waiting for a suitor, but they ain't coming. No one's biting. Because this is what you get with Ronaldo. It's similar to Jose in a way. It'll give you about 2 years, get your goals, but it'll be to the detriment of the dressing room.
That's true. And I think I get it from a PR perspective. I get it from they'll have sold so many shirts and they'll have made loads of money off Ronaldo's brand being at the club and the reunion. But if they want to take themselves seriously this year, I think they've got to cut the cord a bit early because it's only another year on his contract anyway. So he would be leaving at the end of the season, wouldn't he? Unless something drastic happened.
Well, I think we've got an option of a third year, but I'm not sure if all parties have to agree or we can just trigger it. I'm not too sure.
I am going to guess completely, a stab in the dark, but there's no way Ronaldo allows your club to have that decision and not him. No way.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. I don't see him staying past next year if he is to stay this season.
So I think there's still a bit of work to do. Obviously, we've got another couple of weeks, haven't we, until the end of the transfer window? It doesn't end at the start of the league, does it? I never tell with the time. They've changed it a couple of times where it's not quite in line with the 31st of August. So, but whatever. I'm sure there's time left, and there's plenty of time for Chelsea to hijack Frankie De Jong from underneath you, which seems to be what's going around at the moment.
Well, he still doesn't want to leave Barca. Apparently, that's a whole next level circus.
Who's that? Whoever that is? It Sport, whoever it is. That's just Barca's like PR mouthpiece. Man. Yeah, mouthpiece. Yeah. No, I can't be doing with all that nonsense. But either way, I think he'd be great in the Premier League, and if you don't get him, then it's kind of your own fault, isn't it? Because it's taken so long. And I think you won't really, with the project you're building, you just need players that are going to absolutely fight, because quality has not been the issue really. From if you put it on paper, all the players that have come through and underperformed, their quality, a lot of them are world class or close to, that have dropped by miles. So it's not a case of people needing to be more technically able in the squad. It's about fucking do the hard yards, run, show some. I feel like Roy Keane, show some passion, fight for the club, etc., etc. Because
smashing somebody just to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, literally. Do something that affects the game rather than being passive and wondering why that game gets away from you. I think is look, Ten Hag will obviously implement a system that should get the best out of a lot of those players. Just whether Ronaldo's part of that or not. I feel like despite all the questions at your club, I feel like there's just as many at City at the moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is this following the drubbing he received in the Community Shield?
I don't know about a drubbing. That seems a bit extreme. And the way that you didn't smash Liverpool, that what we didn't get, pounded. But I mean, I personally have grown used to this slow build for fitness. The first 5 games will just see us getting into our groove, but I'm fine. I'm okay with it because the last 3 years, every time it's been fine. Well, last 2 years it's been fine. Obviously, there was one where it was not fine, but for the most part, we then maintain it at the most crucial times. So I'll take the slight dip. I'll take the loss to Liverpool in the Community Shield. I'm okay with it, and I'm okay with Haaland's miss because I like his reaction afterwards. I like that he's just laughing, like, course that happened. That guy's still going to bag 30. It's going to be a really interesting one. But when I say loads of questions, I think just because Sterling out, and he's not signing City shirts when people are offering him in America and stuff like that. That's been
Did that bother
shown
you?
around. No, not at all. I get it. He wants to be really. I don't think he hates City at all. I think he might be a bit like, well, I've gone and now I'm at Chelsea, and Chelsea are going to give me a chance.
See, I thought if that's really early doors, he's just signed and he knows he's been recorded. I think if you came across him naturally and it's like, could you sign this for me? I think he'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, if I snuck into his house and was like, sign a shit shirt for me, Raz, no problem. But if you're recording the guy, yeah, and look, I get it. You want to show unity. You want your new fans to be like, yes. You want to give them a bit of bite. That's how you create a bit of excitement, isn't it? That's how you create a bit of rivalry. I'm absolutely fine with it. I don't hate Yaya for everything he's done. So Raz got a long way to go before he gets to Yaya's level of just criticizing the club.
Yeah, I don't
Virus
think
brave, man.
I don't think Raheem's gonna put a curse on you or anything.
No, I hope not. Someone needs to relieve that curse. When does it time out? Because I'm sick of not winning the Champions League because of that guy. But yeah, there's questions around. Obviously, Alvarez has come in and he's going to play a lot of games. Haaland, will he fit? Will the new system get the best out of Haaland, but to the detriment of the rest of the team? Because the reason we dominate so much possession and are able to create all these lovely triangles is because every single player can play everywhere, theoretically, obviously, just moving around in that carousel. And so chances of continuously are created. I think there's going to be a bit more of a Jack is going to stick to the left and not be drifting in too much, get down that channel. Haaland's going to be through the middle, Mara's going to be on the right, and then maybe there'll be some floating and rotation behind with Kev or Foden kind of probably occupying that number 10 spot. But can we adapt to that? And will it be enough to brush aside a Liverpool team that are not going away and have only strengthened? Because I fucking rate Darwin Núñez. I rate him really highly.
And you've got a full season of Luis Diaz, so yeah, it's
I think this is so. I had this discussion with someone at work today who had him in their fantasy team.
Okay.
I like Luis Diaz. I think he's a live wire. I think he's great. I think he's going to have a bit of a drop off this season. Just I don't know if I'm being harsh based on just the Champions League final, but he'll do well against the lower opposition. I think he's just, I don't know. It's a real gut feeling, and it's based absolutely nowhere on a lot of data, but just from the Champions League final and the fact that I think a lot of players like that, when you come into a club at 25, 26, and you're already kind of an accomplished player in a sense, you can take the league by storm. Like the shock value of like, oh my god, how does this guy play? Who's this guy? And he's rinsing everyone. Not to say he can't come back like and have a really great end of the season or parts of the season. I don't think he's a terrible player. I just think it's so hard to maintain that level, and very, very few players do manage to maintain the level that he showed when he first came in. And there's a lot of competition up there, even with Mane leaving. There's still a lot of competition in those attacking positions.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. It's just I think when you look at Salah and Mane, I know he's left. Like their levels have never really dropped apart from the COVID season. Or as a collective, they weren't as effective.
Mm.
But maybe I think that Virgil van Dijk injury got in their head. But I don't know. I think I'm not saying he'll do better than last season, but it's probably I think if he maintains that level, that's
if he
impressive.
maintains that level, that's fantastic.
Impressive.
I just look at him almost like I look at Son, and I think Son came in really attacking, really direct, bit of a drop off, and then came good again. I just there's something about a lot of players second year when they get a bit figured out. Like defenders know a bit more how to, you know, the team as a whole are a bit more able to handle that kind of player. Whereas with Darwin Núñez, I think he's going to be a real shock to a lot of teams because his movement is fantastic. He's rapid. And he's obviously not as fast as like Haaland, but he's very quick. His movement's great. He's big. He's strong. He's going to win every header that goes in the box probably. And then Salah, whose level never drops. Yeah, yes, it dropped. I think after January or February last season, after he came back from AFCON. I don't think he was anywhere near as good as he was at the start of the season. But over a season, you know what you're getting from Salah every year without fail. You get really, really because even with the COVID season, Liverpool Salah still was fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're
Like,
getting over 20 goals, aren't you?
yeah. So
20 minimum.
yes, that's not a good season for him, except because the standards he set so high. But you're always he's just one of those players, and he'll be fine. Núñez will be great. I think I really, really like the is it Fabio Carvalho from
Yeah, for
Fulham?
Fulham. Yeah.
I like that guy. I think he's going to be really good. So my whole point was, I think that if it takes us too long at City to figure out how we want to play this season and be really effective at it, I think Liverpool haven't changed that much. Yeah, Núñez is way more of an attacking-minded player, but I don't think they'll drastically be changing the way they play because Jota plays off the back of the mat. You know what I mean? It's not the change that it is at City. So I think they'll be more comfortable with that adapting to that, whereas we might struggle a little bit more.
Are you also worried about Fat Bernardo might leave?
Absolutely not, because Barcelona can't have any more money. Can't have any more money. I'm sick of the
Well,
Spanish government bankrolling them. Can't be doing
was
with
it they activated like what the hell they're calling it? It's like the third economic lever or something like that, so they can afford, like I'm sure Laporta said and they've got like another 100 million to spend if they want. It's just like how they're literally selling the soul of the club for short-term gain. It's crazy.
It depends though, because I don't know if it is short-term gain. I think it's crazy strategy that if it works out will be brilliant. And
Yeah,
even if it doesn't work out, La Liga and Spain cannot afford for Barcelona or Real Madrid to cease operations.
very true.
It's too much of a brand.
Yeah.
I think some clubs in this country are the same. I think there would be a way. Someone would find a way.
Also, there's already talk of Messi 2023, isn't there? So
What is
fine for his return.
at 36?
Do you remember me telling you? Well, they bought Danny Alves back at 38, didn't they?
Did he play though?
Yeah, I'm sure he played like something like 8 games. So it's stupid.
Okay.
And he's left. He had a parting shot at them.
So
But
36-year-old Messi going back to Barca, playing CM, can't play top. What's he doing? Coach Messi? No,
if I was Messi, I'd ride off into that Argentinian sunset,
mate, he'll just go join Aguero on his podcast with all his Twitch streaming that he does.
Imagine Messi's really shit at FIFA.
Oh,
And I was just carrying him.
It's just Messi getting smashed. Yeah, because Aguero, I just see clips of Aguero every now and then where he's doing a stream rating players, and I'm like, fair play. I rate that. I rate him doing that kind of thing. Not everyone needs to become a pundit. Just go live a normal life, enjoy it.
Definitely.
So I think that's a little overview of both our teams before the new season. Do you want to? Should we look at the what we think the league will be? What we think the finishing positions will be, or is there anything else you'd like to go
over? No, we'll dive into it. Do you want to do the top 6 or the bottom 3, or?
I think it has to be a top 6, doesn't it? First,
yeah, sure.
Because that's. But I just realised there was something I wanted to ask you. Ahead of the new season, would you rather win a cup or finish top 4?
Are you talking domestic cup or the European Cup? That would solve our problems.
Pick your cup, mate.
Europa League over top 4 because it means top 4. Exactly.
Yeah, no, fair play. And I think the element of winning a cup is more important, don't you think?
I was gonna say it's very important.
New era.
It's very important that we at least make the quarters in the domestic competitions, and
yes, that's
probably
a semi to us.
Oh my god!
In the semi.
League Cup semi. Yeah.
Literally, you can lose to us in the semi, and we'll reclaim the Manchester City Cup.
And like those Manchester balls are hot as hell.
Hell yeah!
Do you see them when they pick them up? They're just like hot potatoes. Beyond Dublin's hands are like blood red.
Christ, that guy. But I think I'm really biased because I think about when we won the FA Cup with Mancini, and just the feeling that you have at the start of, kind of at the start. Obviously, we had Hughes just before that, but I was going to say Sven, but I don't want to think about that guy. So moving swiftly on to the Mancini era, that was a really good way to kind of like build this belief in the club around the players and the fans, and to actually think, oh, we can do really well. And then the year after we won the league, not that I'm saying that I think United could do that, but to win the League Cup, yes, it's the weakest of the lot, but it gives all those players like, oh, look at us. And then if let's say you win the League Cup and then you finish strong and just finish, I don't know, 5th or whatever, that's a good season relative to everything that's going on. You've got the good feeling back, players are playing well, got a cup, and done okay in the league. Like, to me, that's fine. Not everyone needs to be top 4. Not everyone needs to have that kind of season where it's just top 4. If you get 4th, but you do poorly in all the cups, I'm not interested in that at all.
No, like I think once you reach the final, nothing's Mickey Mouse anymore. I think it's important to win your finals. If we'd have won that Europa League final against Villarreal, I think that would have kicked us on a bit more.
Absolutely.
But no, again, you saw the fallout of that.
Oh, definitely. I think that would have been really different for the team coming into the new season. Ollie's won a title. Bit of belief in the manager. He's not just, here for the vibes. We've got a title. We've got a cup. But I'm going to take that and direct it myself, although I don't think it's quite the same conversation. Because if we won a cup and didn't finish top 4, that'd be a bad season. Like, we can't finish below 2nd in the league. And I know that sounds entitled. If anyone's listening to this, they might think that I mean it that way. But no, what I mean is, if City finish anywhere below 2nd and it not be really close, we'll be heavily criticised for that, as we should be. The only team that in the narrative can beat us is Liverpool, or some kind of freak incident like the Leicester season, and everyone else performs poorly. If we finish third behind Liverpool and fucking Chelsea or Arsenal or you, that's a bad season considering where we finished in the last 5, for example.
I mean, if you're finishing below us, then you definitely had
Absolutely, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. And again, I don't feel entitled to top 4. I don't feel like that's the case. But when you've spent the money we've spent, built the team that we've built, got Pep Guardiola at this there, the team is pretty much. I know we've Sterling and Jesus have gone, and a couple of others have moved on, like Fernandinho. But and Zinchenko, obviously, shout out to that guy, great utility player, everything Fabian Delph wishes he could have been for us. I'm still looking at that starting 11, and it's not drastically different apart from Haaland's names in there.
No, I agree.
I'd have picked Foden over Sterling anyway. I'd probably,
I know you would.
So and Grealish and Sterling, it's a bit of a toss-up. Obviously, Grealish had a poor season by his standards, by anybody but his standards. Never mind at 100 million by any standards at all. He had a poor season from stats, but I was fine with how functional he was in the team. He just needs to build from being functional to get to implementing what Jack fucking did at Villa, which was sensational, to be honest. There's a wonderful player in there.
I think it was a massive shock for him. Massive.
Yeah, but we've discussed this plenty of times before, where there's a year embedding at City. You could pick apart from there's a couple of players that came in and just took to it. I think Walker did really well when he came in. Obviously, Diaz is a great example of that. Laporte took Stones a while, but the key ones I always think Cancelo first season it's okay, but Jesus Christ, that second season, what's this boy doing? It was phenomenal. Bernardo Silva took him a season. Mahrez took him a season. I just think this year we're going to see a very different Jack Grealish.
I think there's a similar conversation to be had with, less so because obviously he came from a different league, Jadon Sancho.
Absolutely agree. Because I don't, just before you go into it, anything about him, sorry.
No, go on.
I think he is one of the few players that gets a free pass in your team for how it went last year. He gets a totally free pass.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously he would definitely say he had a poor season. But, collectively it was abysmal. And, with that price tag and that reputation, we chased him for 2 seasons. A lot was expected of the whole team, never mind Jadon. But he's looked really good in pre-season. One of the stand-up players for sure. Like I said, I look at Jack and his situation. I'm like, oof, big seasons this year.
100%
needed.
But with Sancho, I think as well, there's an element of that guy's still really young and hasn't found his full game yet. Like Jack at Villa, I think was him operating peak Jack. Yes, there's stat levels above that and functionality levels, but I don't think we'll see how creative and explosive he was. I don't think we'll even see that at City in the amount of times he was doing that for Villa. Gareth Bale's the perfect example of yes, at Real Madrid he won so much and had massive moments, and I mean there's certain moments that are incredible, like the bicy and the header in the Champions League to get them ahead. But he didn't score. He wasn't as explosive as he was at Spurs that year when he was just roaming across the front. That was insanity. He never reached that level of excitement again.
And I wasn't destroying my con every bloody 5 minutes.
That poor guy.
Ruined his career.
Absolutely. We still got him after that, I think. Pretty sure we signed him in we definitely signed him after that.
You've had a few rogue right backs like Danilo as well.
Absolutely. I didn't mind Danilo, but he wasn't, it wasn't Cancelo. But I thought Cancelo was another one of them. I thought when he first came, I was like 40 mil. He's done well at Juventus, but what's he going to do here? And then Gary Neville was just speaking really highly of him when he was at Sevilla. At Valencia, he had him at Valencia, didn't he?
Gary knows ball.
Gary knows, yeah, and he said that boy was just in class, and obviously he's come here. He had a couple of issues with Pep first season, apparently he was saying, but now, honestly, and I love how petulant he is. I love that he's a bit of a nasty boy.
Yeah, you got
bit
to have
sneakier.
a few in your squad.
Yeah, I kind of want a nutter in there. He's not that. He's like your sneaky kind of like little bastard.
No, yeah, he's
He's
not
not like
Nigel.
your nutter. He's not Nigel. And Nigel would do it with a smile on his face as well. He'd just nail you and be like, "Yep, no problem." I feel like I'm trying to think actually who is a bit like that. Bernardo's that in a really small package. Like he'll go for you all game.
I think your biggest nutter is Haaland.
Probably. But he's not that kind of aggressive nutter, is he?
No, I think he's a bit just like you don't know what you're gonna get. He's a bit weird.
Yeah, he's a bit like Jesus. Yeah, he's weird. He's weird. He's a strange dude. But I love it. And I love that there's a really good like relationship with him and Jack and Foden. I think like that'll only help us because we've built such a great dressing room that when that will translate across on the pitch because those guys will just be enjoying being there. But I want a nutter as well. I don't just want people that enjoy playing football. I want some absolute lunatic in there that doesn't get sent off. But like I always thought Vincent Kompany was a bit of a lunatic. Calm, studious, really rigid, but he'd fucking do you now and then. Wayne Rooney.
Oh my God, shaved head Wayne Rooney.
Well, no, I meant sorry, Kompany and Rooney in all the
Oh
derbies.
yeah,
Like Kompany wouldn't look like he'd just stuttered Rooney, but he'd absolutely just nailed him. It's fucking brilliant.
I mean, even Phil Bardsley knocked Wayne Rooney out. So, I'm pretty sure Vinny's winning it, but they're on the pitch. They were both some good moments.
Well, I think Rooney, there's an element of I'm obviously applying very recent kind of the nutter that Rooney, Keano were, that kind of nutter you don't get anymore really. Even your Joey Barton nutters, you don't get that as much now.
Even really. I saw Joey Barton's life flash before my eyes when he squared up to Vinny.
I think it was Micah that he kind of was like, oh God, who's that guy?
And Balotelli, I remember Balotelli standing up and thinking,
he was giving him some shit, and Micah like
loose cannon
grabbed Balotelli, moved him. I think, if I remember it rightly, I just remember Micah being up there, and I think, Jesus, he's big boy, big Meeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's quickly blast on to the top six. Blast all over them. Because number one, obviously, I've got Manchester City. I'll give a quick justification for a couple of them, but I just think that the level is still going to stay the same, and we've added Haaland. Yeah, Haaland could flop, but then we've also got Alvarez, who's definitely going to get 10-15. 10-15 is replaces Jesus. Haaland, I genuinely think is 30. And then if Kev can operate in a cam role or Foden can operate in that cam role, have much more freedom, once that partnership clicks, it's going to be goals. It's going to be bananas, mate, to be honest with you. So I think City, but I don't think they're fucking far ahead of Liverpool again. I think we could get 100 points, but if we get 100 points, Liverpool will get 99. They've still got Salah, they've got a quality midfield, Van Dijk, Alisson, they're genuinely incredible as a team. And it's 3 or 4 years ago, if you'd said to me that I'd be waxing lyrical about this team instead of just blatantly lying and pretending they were all terrible players, I'd have called you a fucking liar, sir. It's absolute nonsense. But what can you say about this team that Klopp's built? Every single one of them is fantastic. You can't really look at their club and there's no banterous players.
No.
There's no one you can look at and go, what a joke that guy is. It's gone.
I know.
All gone. So have to be second for me. Do you want to do your top two as well? I kind of don't want to dominate the fucking conversation for half an hour.
No, don't worry. So you alluded to it before, but I've got Liverpool at first and I've got City second. But you, like I said, you alluded to it before. I've got a feeling you won't kick on early. I'm not saying it'll take you long to gel. And maybe I'm basing it off the Community Shield-ish, but I know that's a preseason game to win a plate. I just think they'll hit the ground running. Because obviously they're so relentless. Klopp does not ease up on them. They do not give teams a sniff, like a second on the ball.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was talking about a full season with Luis Diaz. Obviously, you're adding Darwin. Jota will come back from injury. I think the only place they kind of lack is, well, depth in is centre mid. So obviously, if something happens to Thiago or Hendo, they've only got, well, what, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott. I might be missing a few there.
I think though that with Nunes, you could almost have a 4 where you'd have Firmino in that space. Yeah, they've lost a couple of players, but I think Fabio Carvalho plays there as well, doesn't he? In that kind of yes, I think he plays cam primarily, but he's almost like in that half space between linking it up. And surely Naby Keita's got to come good at some point, right? The guy's been waiting for a long time.
Maybe that is their banter player.
Yeah, he is, but he's not terrible, is he? He's not as terrible as I think.
He's not terrible.
No,
I also think we'll see a hell of a lot more of Firmino this year than we did last. And I think if he can, because we all know what he can do, he's like the glue that holds that attack together. He's so intelligent. I don't like the player, but I respect him.
He's very, very functional for that team.
Hell yeah.
Very functional. He's everything that they need.
And Klopp adores him, and for a reason.
Rightly so. Yeah.
Klopp knows. But like I said, I think you could both be 100-point teams this season. I'm not saying I'll be 8 points clear of you. I think it'll be again like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think even if we have a bad start to the season, because I look at last season and I think after 10 games or 9 games, we were 3rd behind Liverpool and Chelsea. And then we just decided, no. Obviously, there was a point where we dropped a few points and let Liverpool get back into the conversation. Yeah. But that's just how it goes over a full season, isn't it? You know, that's just how it is. So I think I'm not going to completely disagree. I'm not going to kick off with you because you put Liverpool ahead. It's going to be minor, isn't it? The difference between the two.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that's fine. I'll do my 3rd and 4th. So rounding off the top 4, I've got Spurs in 3rd. I think Conte is going to have a really, really big impact on them over a whole season. Harry Kane's settled. Son's been in great form. Kulusevski was quality. They've added Perisic. Yves Bissouma has come in there. I really like Højbjerg anyway. They've got rid of a couple of fringe players that aren't that effective. And they've also added, I want to say, Fraser Forster to their goalkeeping lineup. So even in the cups, they've got enough players in there now to be really effective, because there's a few names I didn't mention there.
Yes,
in attacking in midfield.
Jed Spence, Langley, and Richarlison as well.
Yeah, Richarlison is a backup to Son and Kane. That's really good. Lucas Moura's in there as well. So yeah, I think they're going to be really, really threatening. And then in 4th, I've got Arsenal, and it was a real toss-up between who I've put 4th and 5th. So Arsenal for me are 4th. On the basis that I think they've got a lot of the bad eggs out of the club. There's going to be some real continuity with Arteta. He's now, how long has he been there? This will be his 2nd full season, so he's done like 2.5.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's massive to be kind of continuing on. Zinchenko's a great addition. Jesus is a great addition. I think Odegaard as captain settles that decision, that conversation, because that was obviously an issue after the Xhaka incidences. And yeah, I just think they were really settled and did well. Did really well at the end of last season, or at least in parts. I'm trying to think now. I know that Newcastle were like brilliant for their last 20 games or whatever, 24 games. But I'm sure Arsenal had a really good period after Christmas, like that lasted a while.
Well, they got, well, I was going to say smashed. I think it's been unfair, but I remember them losing to Brighton 3-0, and then they lost their next 2. And then they started to gain ground again and they looked favourites for the top 4.
Yeah.
And then obviously just slipped away. But I'll say my 3rd and 4th, they're exactly the same.
Wow.
Spurs and 3rd, Arsenal and 4th.
Wow, and we actually haven't compared notes. This is all live reactions by both of us. So
Yeah.
tell me why number 5.
It's not too dissimilar, man. It's just like Spurs again. You say Conte, Kane, 20 goals, usually the assist leader as well. Weirdly,
Yeah.
um,
There's 30 to 40 goals in that front lineup, isn't there? No, sorry, there's 40 to 50 goals in that starting trio.
Yeah, and like I always liken Kulusevski to Diaz from Liverpool. I think they came in and both hit the ground running, really.
He's class. I love. Do you know what? Your comparison with Diaz is so spot on that maybe I have got some Liverpool bias stopping me from giving Diaz his props because, yeah, Kulusevski was class when he came in, and I probably should maybe I should have given Diaz a bit more. Fair comment.
Yeah. I don't truly rate Richarlison, but as a backup to any of those, he could probably play right wing if asked, and Conte will probably demand. But he could play across the front three.
I actually spoke to an Everton fan last week about that, and he was like, "I'm kind of glad to see him go because our team isn't benefiting from him, but like all the games he tried hard, we won."
Yeah,
So I think that tells you.
I think he's got a good. I would say he's got a good mentality. He's a bit not erratic. He's a bit hot-headed, but I think it's not to his detriment. I do like him, but for a top 6 side, this is a big test for him now.
And besides, they've got someone now to drive the bus, haven't they?
Who's that?
Richarlison.
Oh God!
Coach.
Richard Allison.
Richard Allison driving the coach to Paris.
Oh good God, that's funny.
If anyone's hearing that and has no idea, just fucking Google Richarlison bus driver. You'll definitely find it.
Yeah.
Champions League final, fraudulent tickets. Amazing. I think spot on with your assessments. Were you going to go into Arsenal?
Yeah, just briefly. Taking Jesus and Zinchenko, great signings.
Wonderful.
Getting rid of all that I can't think of another word apart from dross.
And bringing in some fucking champions. They know how to win shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds like banter, but it's genuinely going to help every single person at that club.
Yeah, I'm still not massively convinced by Arteta, but they're going to give him time, and he's definitely worthy of it. So,
yeah, he's done an okay job, hasn't he?
It's been okay. Like he's definitely done what they want to do. They probably, I don't think they were desperate for top 4, but
you've got to build.
I'm sure that board isn't expecting them to win the league anytime soon at all.
I genuinely don't think that boards in general judge you on your when it's one or two places. I think boards can get behind that. It's when the fans turn or the product on the pitch isn't working, because then the finances change. They don't get as many live games if they're not playing regularly well. They don't sell as much merch. They're not as worth before. All that sort of shit. I think that's more important to the boardrooms nowadays than one or two games, and certainly is the case with Arteta. What's the difference for them really? 6th or 5th. Yes, that leap to 4th, but surely if you're anyone at Arsenal, you know that jump into the top 4 is really, really tough to sustain.
Yeah, totally.
And it's tough to get over 70 points. It's tough. And these guys, to get top 2, have got to get over 90.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's why for me, when I said earlier about if we don't finish top 2, it's madness. Because Chelsea last season finished on 74 and we finished on 93. If we're finishing behind Chelsea, unless they're getting in the 90s, that's madness, and they're not getting the 90s. They're just not. None of the other clubs, I don't think, are capable of sustaining it for the whole season across 4 fronts. I don't think they can do it.
No, and when it's something I want to bring up later, but when you add a World Cup in December to the mix,
absolutely, we've not even touched on that, and that's going to be huge disruption for everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough season. Grueling is the word.
For sure. So then we'll just touch on the other big six clubs that should probably consider themselves in that top six, in that top four. Sorry, but I just think it's a season too early for one of them, and that the other one is signing really good players, but I don't think it actually strengthens the team. And so in fifth, I've got Chelsea. In sixth, I've got United. But honestly, I could have dropped Chelsea down to eighth. I was really trying not. I was like, my sensibility made me put them fifth. But I was looking at a couple of teams thinking, you could finish seventh or eighth, and all these players you're signing are not going to help you.
Well, in fifth, I've got Manchester United, and
Of course you have.
sixth, I've got Chelsea.
So yeah, I've got United in sixth as well. Not as well, but I've got United in this too that we're discussing now. Why do you think that you? Sorry, no. Let me ask this. Why do you think that Chelsea and United won't get top four? First and foremost, what's stopping them?
Well, I think Chelsea haven't necessarily gone backwards, but I look at the signings like Koulibaly. If I think of any top Premier League team signing him, it would have been about 4 years ago. I think he's on the wrong side of 30 now. I think it's a big step up for him. Sterling, definitely Premier League proven, but he's playing such a good team. Such a good team.
And still not necessarily. Like, I love Sterling. You know me, I've got no beef with the guy. I love the time he was with us. But he's not going to get you a boatload of goals.
Also,
He's gone. Sorry.
I know. I'm just thinking if I was to like do a poll with City fans and be like, say prior to him going to Chelsea, I bet when the rumours were circulating and he said, "Oh, would you be bothered if Sterling left?" I think they would have said, "No, not really."
No, I wish him all the best. But we persevered with him for a long time until he came good, and then a long time after he was at his best for 2 years. I think we had him 5 or 6 or something, maybe a bit more actually. But I felt like it took him a couple of years to get to the level that Mikel and Pep got him to, and then after having that for a year or two, he dropped again. He still beats people, he still runs loads, he's still really effective, but he got dropped for Fordham for 6 months the year before.
Yeah.
And I just the time had come. As good as he was, and I would have been more than happy if he stayed. I'm happier that he's gone and stayed in the league. I'll still get to see him play. I like the guy, no issues with Raheem. Did plenty for the club. Full respect to the guy. Although there was a question asked that will Raheem go down as a legend of the club, and my answer is Zabaleta was asked it actually, and he said no, and I say no, but definitely a favourite. A couple of levels down from legend or icon is Raheem. Really enjoyed him at the club.
Yeah, fair enough. Now I kind of look at Chelsea as well. It's like he's, definitely an upgrade on the wingers they got already.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and it'll give them a lot better options.
Yeah. You'll probably find it like similar to playing for England in a way. It's just more. It's very different, isn't it? But he's not going to be their savior. He's not going to fill Lukaku's shoes. He's not going to fill Lukaku's fucking Dot Martens.
He'll probably score as many though. To be fair, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. They haven't strengthened enough for me.
No, and I actually think that even though you say they haven't gone backwards, I think they overperformed so much at the start of Tuchel's reign that people think that they're either going backwards or that they should be doing better than they are. Nah, they're not. They're not as good as Spurs, and yeah, we're taking a bit of a gamble with Arsenal. Like they could flop. Arsenal like to flop.
Yeah.
Well, Chelsea does look a bit dysfunctional to me, and I don't know if any of the. And they've still got players that might leave in Azpilicueta, Marcos Alonso. You don't know.
I can tell you today. Azpi's signed a new 2-year deal.
Oh, really? So he's staying? Okay.
Yeah. Alonso might be the one to leave.
But I mean, they've lost Danny Drinkwater.
They've lost Rudiger. I think that's the massive one.
Oh, not Danny Drinkwater. I thought he was quite a big loss. And Nathan Baxter, that guy. CM, I think, been there for ages. But yeah, I agree with everything you said about Chelsea. What about United? Why do you think you'll miss out on top four? Do you not think Ten Hag can do enough to overtake Arsenal and Spurs?
I just think it's a really big ask to land top
Mm.
four immediately, and we talked about it before. I think a decent cup run in the Europa League, I think that is the criteria that will make our season a success. Top four would be lovely. Don't get me, I'd kill for top four by end off, but I just like as of now, we haven't strengthened again in the right areas. No defensive midfielder. No one can.
You got the Butcher.
I know, but I think he would play in left back.
Because he's so short.
Left centre back.
Centre back?
Yeah, he's centre back.
He's not playing centre back for you, mate.
We'll see.
I'll put a tenner on it now that he doesn't play centre back primarily.
In pre-season, and I think two or three of the games he's played. He played against Wrexham, Vallecano. I'm sure he played against Atletico for a bit. Maybe he was centre back.
If he goes up 1-on-1 against Erling fucking Haaland, he's dead.
I don't know. Like we've talked about before, when he signed, I was like, I know nothing about him. Absolutely nothing.
I like him, but not against Giants. It's not against Giants.
That's what we throw in Raphael and Harry. Slab LD with Haaland.
You know my thoughts on Maguire. The guy's not as bad as people are painting him out to be, despite his calamitous season last year.
I just think with Ten Hag at the helm, and if we can get the remaining kind of signings that he wants, and if the Ronaldo situation, it's a lot of ifs. I do get that, but
It sure is.
I think we have improved in the areas we needed to. Cleared out a lot of deadwood.
Okay.
I think got the right man in.
Yeah, no fair.
So, and hopefully we can just kind of settle early and like just not implode like last season. So I'm hopeful of this.
It's a good way to be ahead of the new season. So you don't think West Ham, Leicester, or Newcastle are going to leapfrog you?
Well, shall we kind of like quickly go through the remaining teams and then we'll do relegation?
Yes, we'll quickly do that. So
because we're coming out to an hour now.
Yeah, and we'll try and wrap it up as quick as we can. So I'm just going to do my top 10, which is City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, United, West Ham, Leicester. No, I'm sorry. What am I doing? Redux that. I was reading from the wrong list. I was reading from the fucking league positions last year that I had as a reference point. So the 2022-23 season league table final standings for me. Number 1, City, then Liverpool, then Spurs, then Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle United in 7th, West Ham in 8th, Everton 9th, Leicester 10. Want me to carry on? You do your top 10?
Yeah, sure. So, Liverpool, City, Spurs, Arsenal, United, Chelsea. Now I've gone to round off top 10, West Ham in 7th, Villa in 8th, Newcastle 9th, and Brighton 10th.
Brighton 10th. So to be fair, I've knocked miles off you with the teams in and around there. You've got Everton, West Ham in there, right?
No. Everton.
No. Oh my God.
No.
Okay.
So it's West Ham, Villa, Newcastle, Brighton.
No Leicester.
They are 11th. They're on the
Okay.
cusp.
So I've got Aston Villa 11th, then Brighton, then Palace. And then in 14th, I've got Fulham, who I think will be the best of the newcomers, but very closely followed by Nottingham Forest. I like some of their signings they've made.
Oh, wow. Okay.
16th, Brentford. And then rounding off the teams that will stay up for the 23-24 season, I've got Wolves in 17th because I really think they're going to struggle.
You're not wrong. So I'll just carry out with mine. Leicester in 11th, then Palace. Then I've got Wolves in 13th.
Okay.
Everton. Forest will survive, I think. 15th, I've put them. And I've put
14th.
Southampton and Leeds. to round off the survivors.
Really? So oh my God, you think Brentford are going down? Oh my God, madness. You're wrong. Ivan Toney will not be ruled out so easily. My relegation spots. Shall I do dead last and work my way up?
Yeah, we'll go dead last.
Yeah, Bournemouth, man. Fuck those guys. They're dead. They've been survive. They keep coming up and they keep going down. I know they stayed up for a bit last time, but no.
If we were playing cards, man, if we were playing Snap, then I'd be slamming my hand down.
Wow, Bournemouth dead bottom. Love it. They're also uninspiring. So like Nottingham Forest, they got 15th because I liked some of their signings, right? Do you know when I couldn't quite decide because I don't know enough about them?
Right.
Bournemouth are uninspiring. 19th, Leeds, mate. Gone.
Oh, you think absolutely done?
Mate, they've not really strengthened. They've sold two of the best players that have just kept the team together. Joe Gelhardt, because Patrick Bamford will always be injured. Joe Gelhardt is not going to score you 20 goals in all comps to have a good season.
Did Bamford score 20?
Mate, he's always injured, so no. Oh, in the first season, no, but their front line did, and I'm just saying he's the only one there that can do anything because they've got rid of Rafinha. Rodrigo's not that good. Calvin Phillips is gone, so you've not got the same build-up from the back. That centre-back's retired as well, hasn't he? Their centre-back. I'm sure he's gone. Check that, actually. Where is he? Kyle Roberts has gone on loan as well. Jamie Shackleton's gone out on loan. No, I'm lying to you. I can't think of a centre-back. That guy that got injured ahead of like the end of last season, I can't remember who he is. They brought in Aronson and Rasmus Christensen from Salzburg and Mark Rocker.
Sinister, I think, is a good sign for them.
Maybe Tyler Adams as well. Like he's really, really good on FIFA. I know nothing about the guy. Apart from he's American and good on FIFA. So yeah, I don't think Leeds will do well. Who's your 19th?
Fulham.
Really? So you don't think any of their signings are?
No.
Really? Polinia, great signing.
That is way above. Oh God.
Kevin Mbabu, he'll be great. Bernd Leno, he'll be fine.
I just don't know. I think their defense isn't good enough. Personally, I don't know. I got a feeling Bournemouth straight back down.
Really? Even with you've got Silver at the helm, all that know-how, that know-how to keep them going.
What does Silver know?
What?
What does Marcus Silver know?
What does he know, mate? He did really well with Watford, didn't he?
Oh wow.
Bernd Leno in net, yeah. Left back, Vinagre, decent. Centre backs,
not good enough for Wolves.
Centre backs. Well, maybe not, but that's because Johnny's class. Adara Bayo and Eric Bailey at centre back.
Eric Bailly, did you say?
Yeah.
I'm Fulham.
Maybe it's not Eric Bailly.
It's definitely Eric Bailly.
He's not. Has he not gone? I thought.
He's going to Roma, I think.
He's not going to them on loan. I thought he was going to them on loan. I thought it was a done deal.
Eric Bailly?
In Fulham on loan, yeah.
No, apparently he's gone on loan to Roma, the option to buy for $8 million.
Fair. Andreas Pereira and Polinia. Amazing. I mean, Mitrovic, man's going to get 20 goals.
Right.
I know.
This is the ultimate championship striker. Honestly, he's unreal.
He's so good in the championship. I know, that's why I'm saying 20.
He comes out, takes that step, and he's like, shit.
Yep.
Fuck.
Can't do it. And then he drops back down and kills it again.
No, usually he fucks off Fulham for like a year, comes back, and then smashes it.
Yep.
But
gets him promoted again and then fucks off. No, fair. And yeah, just avoiding the drop, not just avoiding the drop, just about getting the fucking drop. Southampton, their time is over.
Yeah, I really did consider them for that. last spot.
Yeah.
But I think Brentford will beat them to that.
I can't believe you don't believe in Ivan Toney.
It's not. I like Ivan Toney. I take him at United.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
it's not just about one player.
Start.
They are in talks to sign
Rico Henry. What about that guy?
I'm alright.
But
they're in talks to sign Mikel Damsgaard. Do you remember he had him in St. Euros?
Yeah.
So, but I
can't believe you. I can't believe you're being disrespectful. Raya last season, was he not one of the best goalkeepers in the league?
I think maybe it's because I just don't like Thomas Frank as a person.
How can you not like? Oh my god!
He was so bitter when we beat them. He was so bitter.
Not blame him. He shouldn't be losing to you. Better than you. He's probably above you in the league when you lost to.
And we took Ericsson from him, so he must be seething.
Mate, it doesn't matter. They're gonna do you. They can do you. Ivan Toney and Mbeumo up top are gonna do you.
They didn't do us last season. So.
They're gonna do you this season. A bit more experience in there.
No.
Got rid of the dross that is Ericsson. Freed up the squad.
Dross, that's insane.
The dross. Right. That's it. So should we do quickly top scorer? Erling Haaland, obviously. Do you agree?
No. Mine's Harry Kane.
Shut up.
Mine's Harry Kane, Mo Salah, Erling Haaland in that order.
Well, no. Anyway, I can't get on board with that.
But you said earlier it might take a while for Haaland to embed.
He'll still get.
He might get 5 goals against Southampton because they've got a 9-0 coming.
Yeah, I know. Can't be seeing you do 9-0 and then Liverpool do whatever they did to him. Can't be having that, can we? Feel left out. But no, honestly, Haaland, Salah will get like 25, Harry Kane will get like 20, Haaland will get like 30. And if he takes to it, I could be silly here. I could start naming any random number. He could actually.
This ain't bingo.
Honestly, it's 55. 55 in all comps.
No comps, fucking hell.
Yeah, second season. Yeah.
Oh,
Next season, I'm happy with 30.
Okay.
More than happy. Happier than you know.
Top
assist.
I put KDB. I put KDB and Kane.
Yeah. KDB for sure. Dark Horse was your call.
Yeah.
And I fucking know who it is.
Oh god. Well, I've put it, albeit a rich one, and I've said Newcastle. And then
Dark
Forest.
Horse. Yeah, I think Forest could do better than I've put them. I really like the look of them. I like some of the signings. I just couldn't. I didn't know enough to justify putting them higher. But for me, I've put Fulham as my dark horse. But I guess in a way, compared to what you've put, I've put Everton at 9th, haven't I? So
yeah, that's insane. I'd want to bring.
What do you mean that's insane? They've got rid of Richarlison. They're fine now. I actually don't know. I just feel like Everton surely must sort this shit out over the summer.
I would. I don't know. I'd swear as in a dream if Everton finished in top half of the table.
Well, dream big, baby. And on that bombshell, well, even though that probably is a patented, copyrighted line, that does it for our kind of assessment going into the new season. I think at one point I was going to say, should we do the fixtures? But I just don't think we need to do that. Just before the game, I'll send you mine if you send me yours, and then
sure
we can look at each other's.
It made it sound weird.
It was already weird, but yeah, it's great to have football fucking nearly back. Saturday's not far away.
Why saying Saturday?
Because fuck Arsenal. Fuck Arsenal opening the weekend. If it was a proper game opening the weekend, I'd be up for it. But there's no proper games for the first round, is there? I don't think.
I think
Any proper games?
you've got a bit of a not banana skin. It's not going to be straightforward against West Ham, surely.
I don't want to talk to you right now if you think that's a possibility. We're going to smash West Ham silly like we usually do. It might be a 2-0 smashing, but I'm not really worried about West Ham.
All right.
They need momentum to get big. I think West Ham will be fine this season. I really, really rate a lot of their players. I just don't think they want to just come and go like just day one. I'm fine. We win most of our day one games when it's against lower opposition. When it's against similar, I think we struggle sometimes at the start, but yeah, West Ham are not in that same conversation yet. When West Ham get top 4 and finish the season top 4, then I'll listen. Till then, fuck West Ham, thinking they can stand up to City. What do you think the most? I'm just looking now very quickly. I think the most competitive is probably going to be Leeds Wolves, because Fulham Liverpool it'll be interesting, but Liverpool they'll smash it up. Everton Chelsea, oh man, come on Everton, that'd be amazing.
Lamp's back
That'd be
from the dead.
amazing. Absolutely, Lamps comes on, scores a last minute winner.
You know what? I'd put them higher if Lampard came out of retirement.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my goodness, that'd be incredible. Yeah, you'd be fine against Brighton. We got West Ham, so no, I don't think there's much to get too excited about. Oh, I do apologise. Yeah, not too much to get excited about. I just think it's fucking great that football's back. Want some good games in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it's been great catching up. I can try and stop this recording now, and we can go our separate ways.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll see you probably start of next week, if not later. Maybe next year. Who knows? Whenever we reconvene.
Yeah. Next season's predictions.
Next season we'll do a roundup and we'll just alternate every year. Yeah, it's been great. See you in a few days. Hope everyone else enjoys the football. Can't fucking wait. Take care. Can't stop the fucking recording. Can't stop, addicted to this shit.